All right.
Technically 40.
Hey, welcome to the We Should Have podcast. I am your co-host, Jason Jamerson. He is Sean Manning. Sean, how's it going?
It's going good.
Fantastic. We got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time.
We got a lot to talk about, a lot of time.
Time
is what you make.
Time is what you make it. I never heard that one, but I'll take it.
It is what you make it.
I'll take it. Time is what you make it. So let's start off. We'll start here.
All right. Yeah, so the lights get a little different in that scene.
It's a little different when I got to start the show off. Hey guys, it's me. Let's start here. Let's start with the NBA. Let's talk some NBA because I don't want to date the podcast to talk about what happened last night. But recently, you granted me the opportunity to go to my first game at Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
Oh man, I had a good time. I enjoyed myself.
I mean, the seats always help.
The random seats was fantastic.
You know, seats and
so you know, as a sports journalist, it was cool for us to be there and see some of the other Detroit sports players just walking around, just roaming around. I was like, hey, you know, unfortunately, we couldn't stop any of them for an interview. But I believe, even though it was me and like 15 other people waving at Jahmyr Gibbs, I believe he waved back at me. So, Jahmyr, here's to you. Have a good season.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
What are you talking about?
You were like a child when the Lions came.
Absolutely, I was ashamed.
Younger.
Why would I be ashamed?
Because they're children, which is weird compared to us.
They are children. I look at that because I be sitting here like, oh.
And you know, it's just weird to see them. It's like I'm like they're small, like
much larger.
Yeah,
than all
like they're tall. Some of them are taller, but they're not even like you look at David Montgomery. You say, how is this little person running over all of these people?
Because they just as small as he is.
Say no more. And I would say Brian Branch was like he was the Hulk of the bunch as far as who was all there, and then even then, you know, he probably 190 maybe 200.
Yeah, probably like 200.
What's his height?
I think he's like 6 feet, 6'1", something like that.
It might have me on the height, but not on the weight. Not on the weight.
Batman voice.
But you enjoyed yourself.
Oh man, I enjoyed myself. One of the things I was looking forward to was the food, because you said they had top
5, I believe. Top 5, yeah, I believe it was top 5, possibly top 10, but I'm 80% sure it was top 5.
Top 5, and that was the sporting venue in the country. Period.
Yes.
So that's basketball, football, hockey, baseball, whatever. And so I said I got to try something, and I did what social media is telling you not to do these days. And I went and ordered the chicken tenders. You ever see them videos where they be like, oh, they be showing like the woman at a nice restaurant with the dude.
Right there.
I mean, the dudes be part of the skit too. Well, but you know, they be like, oh man, I want to try this. It has pomegranate jam and all this stuff. It's like, oh, that do sound good. And then when the waitress comes, the woman orders some exotic, and the dude be like, yeah, I'll have some chicken tenders. And then she just look at them like it's an instant turn off. Like, try something new. You know.
But see, there's the
propaganda against chicken tenders?
No, but there lies the issue. Men usually order what it is they want. I know that I'm going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going to get because I know I'm going to like it. Whereas in other people, women, do not. They'll order this, they'll order that. They'll even try to get your hands off of my food. They'll even try to take some of your food.
That's the only time they'll order for you is when it's two things they want on the menu. You should get this.
Right. I'm going to order what I know that I'm going to eat. I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to have to send it back because I know what it is I want to eat.
Now, I will say,
I love chicken tenders.
I love chicken tenders,
but I don't. Like if I'm going out somewhere and it's a nice establishment. No,
But first of all, if
I'm
you
not
go
getting chicken
somewhere
tenders.
that's nice enough, they ain't gonna have chicken tenders on the menu.
That as well. Probably except J. Alexander's is probably the
They
nicest
may have
place that has chicken tenders.
phalanges du poulet, but it's not chicken tenders.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no.
But
Yeah, J. Alexander's is probably that would be, and it's a chain. So some people it might be their spot. Other people it's like in the it's like you got Applebee's and all that. And it's like a Red Robin, Olive Garden, and then J. Alexander's would be there, but it would be underneath a Prime and Proper or
the Coop, because the Coop was them chicken tenders at the
which
Coop
are also at a gate.
Man, it was fantastic. So but I will say, I am one of them people.
You got to try the burger.
I got to try the burger. But I'm one of them people. If something looks interesting enough, I will order it, even if it's something else. Like I am that exotic menu person. Like what? Not like exotic. Like this is quail skinned.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've had quail, but it's like put quail skin on duck because all right, y'all trying to breed a different edible bird, and I'm like, I don't want no quail.
Yeah, no, I've tried a lot of things, but the tenders are usually safe.
Yeah.
So you're not going to waste your money. You don't have to send anything back. Mm-hmm. They're safe. Yeah. Won't mess with your stomach. Safe. Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Because I'll order something exotic. Like you go look at an omelet. That's the first thing I do. I go to the restaurant and serve breakfast because I'm a breakfast boy. The baron of breakfast. That's what they call me.
Nobody calls
they
you.
They call me that. They called me back for a long time. But I look at the omelets. You got your safe ones: the chicken and cheese omelets, the spinach and feta omelets, all that stuff. Uh-huh. I be looking for the obscure one, and the one that I found is a Coney Island by my house. Now, ironically, it was one by my house when I was growing up. They had the specific omelet, and I hadn't seen it since then until recently when I tried this new Coney Island by my house, the Hawaiian omelet, and I said, pineapples and eggs? That doesn't sound good.
It doesn't.
But I tried it anyway.
Of course you did.
Let me tell you something. One of the best doggone omelets I ever had in my life.
This is one thing that I've discovered about you. And I mean this, with no disrespect at all, but you have the palate of a raccoon.
Thank you.
And raccoons seem to enjoy themselves.
They enjoy their life, don't they?
It must be the thumbs.
They got thumbs. They can grab a hold. They can eat whatever they want.
You do have a palate.
Listen, man, I'll try almost anything. Almost anything once is what I say. Almost.
So what I hate to ask, what was in this omelet?
Oh, it's
I'm sure
pineapple.
Ham.
Yeah, ham, pineapple, bacon, and Swiss cheese.
Oh, the pineapple.
Listen, pineapple is God's gift to the fruit world.
What?
Pineapple, one of the best fruits on the planet.
It's right. It would just be fruit.
Wouldn't it be
God's gift?
It's God's gift. It's God's gift to the fruit world because all the other fruits they got to bow down to them pineapples.
Better than strawberries?
Yes.
Grapes?
Yes.
From a health standpoint?
I mean, yes, actually. Yes. Strawberries and grapes, yes. Now, if you want to start bringing blueberries and other things, that's a different story. Blueberries, oranges, things like that is a different story. But from pineapples actually got a lot more health benefits than most people think.
And
they help you out the bedroom.
Add a little seasoning to you.
Well, hey, all right, well, you ain't got to take it that far now. Listen, here's the lake.
I'm going too far.
Go too far.
I'll back it up. I'll back it up.
Listen, we don't got no canoes to make it over to the other side right now.
I had my blankets full of smallpox. I went too far.
You went too far. You went too far. You almost gave the village smallpox. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. No. Well, no, I thoroughly enjoyed myself at that game. It was
and they won.
And the Pistons won. So if y'all, I'm the Pistons' good luck charm apparently, because the first game I went to, they beat LeBron and them Lakers by what, 12, 10, something like that.
And they had them down 20.
They had them down 10, and they, even though the Lakers came back, they never came back and took the lead.
They didn't.
Yeah, LeBron couldn't do nothing with Cade Cunningham on him.
I think the age. Definitely not 82.
No.
He's not. Listen, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when the boy was just a child, he had made the comment about playing with him, and he has.
Mm-hmm.
Hats off. But when out there with a bunch of young Thundercats, and he does complain a lot. I mean, he always has, but just to stand there and watch this 40-year-old
now
man.
he's just complaining as an old man. Now
That's
he really
what it
look like an old
he
man.
just-
Like, get off my lawn. But ref, the boy double dribble, ref.
He said they're running so fast. They're young. Bron,
What
they're
do you
young.
want me to do, ref?
Right, Bron, they're young. The rest of you don't
I
just
mean, he
get
ain't
back
losing
down
his
the court.
vision because he threw one pass. That pass,
Listen, the eyes are
the
there.
eyes are still there. He made that. I don't want to even say mobility. Maybe it's stamina. I don't know what it
I
is.
think it's just speed.
Speed.
I mean, he was never. I mean, I think he was just.
Because that game for sure slowed down whenever he was pushing the ball.
Oh man. So maybe he's hurt. I don't know. You know, I'm not. I'm not trying.
I kind of appreciate that though, because I'm tired of that. Just run fast as you can to the other side and shoot a three. Like, just slow it down.
But he is 40. Like, no matter what hyperbaric chamber, like you got T.O., right? Okay, yeah, T.O. is still out here racing other athletes, but
he ain't getting hit though,
and he's not also racing them for 40 minutes either.
No,
it's a quick. I'm gonna talk my shit. We gonna meet up somewhere. You know, sometimes he say, "Oh, you know, I'll meet you wherever tomorrow." If somebody says that, clearly he's been running and sprinting.
What do you have to do, T.O.?
Exactly.
Like what else do you? I'll be there tomorrow. You ain't got nothing to do.
He's working on his body clearly, but other than that, there's not a lot of. Well, I mean, I'm always working out, so it's different. But I mean, 40 is 40. You know, it's and they're getting younger. Like I don't know if I'd race a 20-year-old me, because I know that I'd probably lose. Yeah, and maybe that's what he's realizing. Okay, like I can't get up and down the court with them every possession, because the majority of the time he was lagging back.
Yeah.
You know, and
work harder, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, Ivy was flying up and down the court.
So I love the fact that they gave him a green light, because I saw his highlights in college when they drafted him, because everybody was like, oh, his mama played for the Shock and all that stuff. I was like, all right, who's this guy?
It's a pretty good story.
He was pretty cool in college. And so when he played last year, I'm like, the dude is explosive, but for whatever reason, Monty just kept him on the bench all the time. Monty barely played that boy.
Well, because him and Cade have a similar, it's dribble, penetrate. I mean, they can shoot, but usually it's dribble, penetrate. So if you got two guys doing the same thing, whereas if you had Steph, dribble, penetrate, dribble, pass, dribble, shoot, and then Clay was just there kind of, now they're playing the position that Buddy Hield is now playing, where you just, now, Buddy Hield can do it all.
Yeah.
But, with them being so young and similar positions, Monty was just, okay.
Monty never had the same lineup
because he had Chris Paul. But he's used to Chris Paul. He's like, okay, Chris dribbles. All right, Chris does this. Cool. All right, Cade. And then Ivy out there.
Was Killian Hayes still over there last year?
Listen, I think that was the end of Killian being a Piston. Was towards during last season, because he was there for one or two of the games, and I was like, why they pick him so high?
No, yeah. So
I don't make the picks,
right? But no, they clearly have given Jaden Ivey the green light.
Yeah, and it seemed to work out, especially with the team that's not very good defensively. They can't really guard. They had nothing. There's nothing they could do. There's nothing few teams can do, but it's a matter of the consistency.
I was gonna say the biggest inconsistency, just looking on paper, because I don't really watch, like that. But on paper, the biggest inconsistency I see is from the bigs.
Well, so they don't really have bigs. They just have bigger people.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Anthony Davis is a big.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is a big. Isaiah Stewart is just bigger than them.
You know, they're going to Ben Wallace model.
That's not Ben Wallace, and that is the issue.
That is the issue.
Is that's a once in a life. Ben Wallace wasn't Ben Wallace until he was the final arm of Voltron, and then that's what made him Ben Wallace. When he was in Washington, didn't nobody know who that man was?
No, he's in Orlando.
Orlando and in Washington, nobody knew who he was.
That's we got Ben Wallace and Chucky Atkins.
Yeah, and they had talent over there, but nobody knew who he was. He came over here. Even Chucky fit in as a guard off the bench, but he came in. They had already had. Now they didn't know they had Voltron being formed, but the pieces were there. You plugged him in, and then they had Tayshaun and finished off, and then they got Sheed and they had Chauncey and Rip. That is what made. I mean, because all of them were, except for Rasheed. Rasheed was the only star before who was balling. Chauncey was cool. Rip was cool. You know, he played with Mike.
Journeyman.
Yeah, but yes, except for Sheed, who was a journeyman.
And Tayshaun got drafted there.
Right, and then you get Ben Wallace. Why they get this guy?
The Turkish tornado.
They should have got Carmelo.
Well, that was Darko. I'm talking about
Remember,
I remember when he left the Pistons, all he did was give us buckets. Dropping 50 every time he played us.
When he was on Utah.
Yeah. I said, come on, man. Why did we do this?
No, he was nice.
That boy Memo.
So, yeah.
Corliss Williams.
Isaiah Stewart.
Darvin Ham. Duncan Darvin Ham.
Who was the... okay.
Duncan Darvin. I remember that boy George Blyhide.
Listen,
like Duncan Darvin Ham with the ham sandwich. That boy George Blyhide is the voice of Detroit. I would love for George Blyhide to come here and kick with us one of these days. George, if this ever gets to George Blyhide, if anybody knows George Blyhide, tag him in this. Tell him that we are huge fans, and I would like
George Blyhide
to talk to George Blyhide.
He's all right. He said, "Turn and gun it."
Count that baby in a foul. That was my boy.
George, him and Kelly Tripucka.
Oh man, George Blyhide.
Yes, they were able to get a win. Definitely a good team with a lot of talent, but I do think they're missing like a talented big, and I'm referring to. I mean, obviously, if they had an Anthony Davis type big,
there's not too many Anthony Davis.
The East would be in trouble because they got a bunch of young killers.
Yeah.
If they had an Al Horford, a young Al Horford, that
Horford
would help. Preferably Anthony Davis, but preferably Giannis, because it seems like he doesn't want to be in Milwaukee.
But he ain't going to Detroit.
You never know.
I mean, he did get his ring.
You never know. You never know. Or listen, now that he beating up media members, and
Joel Embiid,
and he can't stay healthy. Find the right guy that'll keep the athletes on the court. You know, Joel.
We used to have what's that dude's name? Because the Pistons used to have the best trainer.
Yeah, I know you're talking about
Arnie Kander or something like that.
That might be his name. I think Vidi was the guy was the Kobe guy. But that guy, he had the bald head, had the salt and pepper and the mustache.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
What's his name? I want to say his name was.
That guy wasn't no joke. But they need like a big, or need for one of their bigs to say, not anymore. Like if they would have had, not even like a cat. If they had Rudy Gobert, they'd win a lot more games.
It was Arnie Kander, but now he's last year he got hired by the Magic to oversee the team's training and player performance staff, and then apparently he got upgraded to vice president of player performance and wellness.
I need to send them an application.
Yes.
I've been training 20 years and haven't had an injury. Yeah, people have only left here better than they were.
Better. Oh man, listen, that's one of my core. I was trying to transition to a.
Now you're getting out of control.
It's Bleacher Report, man.
Now you're out of control.
Listen, that was one of my core one of my core things I tell people is like I've never had any of my clients have a gym related injury. Like I've never had them have an injury at all. Now, they may have got hurt and then came to the gym or whatever afterwards. But none of them have ever gotten hurt under my tutelage.
Yeah, even for the professional athletes I've trained, they've only gotten better. But glad you enjoyed yourself. It was a good time.
Speaking of the Lions being there.
Okay. Well, okay. Right, the Lions were there.
Yeah, let's talk a little. Let's talk a little ball.
Sure, why not?
A little football. You want to guess the according to Pro Football Talk? You want to guess the top 5 in the power rankings?
Sure.
We haven't done this in a while. We haven't done the power rankings in a while. Go ahead.
Sure.
Top 5.
The Lions, Chiefs, Ravens, Commanders, Bills.
So you got all 5 of them right. But that's not the order. You want to double down to guess the order?
We'll flip 3 and 5.
What did you have? You said
Ravens were 3. And then I had the
Bills 5.
No. Oh, yeah.
Did you look this up?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no. Pro Football Talk has the Lions at number 1, Chiefs number 2, Bills number 3, Commanders number 4, and Ravens number 5.
This is what I got it.
All right.
I got it. I am sports journalism.
Listen, this is what we do. It's what we do.
Honest takes haven't been wrong yet.
I have not been wrong yet.
Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I hope I am wrong, that the Lions should have got Myles Garrett. But I hope I am wrong in regards to that one. Whatever it takes.
It would have took the whole future of the team.
Fine.
Because the Browns make bad decisions. Listen, if it took them that kind of it took them that long to come up with a deal for Zadarius Smith and the picks that they gave up, they gave him Zadarius Smith and a pick for a 5th round and a 6th rounder. If it took that long to get Zadarius at the last second, because they were just like,
they knew they needed to make a move.
You said what?
They knew they needed to make a move. Kansas City make a move.
This is not this. The Browns being the epitome of ineptitude when it comes to how are you trying to rebuild and keep your team at the same time?
Kansas City would have been probably 4th on that list.
Kansas City couldn't even get Marshawn Lattimore.
They went and got D-Hop.
He couldn't, because they tried to get Marshawn Lattimore. They couldn't get him either. You see what they did?
But they got D-Hop, and that's what they needed. Listen, now, while he's scrambling and all that, you got him and Kelsey.
That's a hard duo right there.
Kelsey's still there. Kareem Hunt apparently wants who's that guy who run like he always in trouble as well?
Isaiah Pacheco.
He was supposed to come back. But Andy said we're gonna keep Kareem, man. 2 touchdowns.
Well,
2.
Now
I believe. Yeah, 2. 1, 2.
I will say this.
Did he have 2?
I think he had 2.
I know he had the one earlier, then he had the goal line one towards the end to seal the deal.
I will say this, and this is the only thing that like a lot of professionals, have been saying, like the ex-players or whatever, talking about how the Lions are rolling right now. So having that bye week so early and keeping this level of success up is going to be very difficult. I don't know. Tom Brady was saying there was one year where they went they went 10-0. They had an early bye week, went 10-0, and then the last 6 games they dropped like 4-2. Like they lost 4 of them games, won 2 of them, so they ended up like 12-4. He said it's a long season. You start wearing on you, and then like they got that stretch where they got to play Thanksgiving. They play. Was it
they got like 3 games in 2 weeks?
Yeah, so that's and then but there's no bye after that.
And I don't even know if it's 3 games in 2 weeks. They have like 3 games and like
it's like 13 days or something like that.
Something like that. That's a wild.
Yeah, so it's like it's gonna be tough, but they're built for it.
Did the Patriots win the Super Bowl that year?
What year did he say it was? 2015? What do you think he said it was? Was it 20? I think it was 2015. Did they win in 2015?
Wasn't that Atlanta?
Was that Atlanta?
That would have had to be 2015 because it clearly wasn't during the pandemic.
Child was born.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a friend of mine. There's a comedian named Josh Adams, and we count the years we've known each other based on how many Super Bowls he came. He said, "I didn't watch your daughter grow based on the Super Bowls. Every time I come over, it's a different Super Bowl." So that's how I be knowing. Like she was able to walk because I remember her walking in. So she had to be either 2 or 3. She was born in 2014. So yeah, maybe she started walking early because we didn't give her that formula stuff. She got the real deal.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, ain't no formula around here.
Okay.
She's getting the stuff that get the bones
So
strong.
it was one of his last Patriot years.
Yes, is what he said.
So 1, he was old. 2,
they had a bye week like after week 2 or week 3.
Right, but then they won.
Barely.
They won.
They did, but he says it's a tough season.
If the Lions have to lose 4 out of their last 6,
Listen,
and that leads to them winning a Super Bowl,
I get it.
Then lose
but
4 out of
there's also the other thing is there's the higher chance of injury from people not getting proper rest, recovery, things like that.
Well, they should have figured that out before the season started. Because when I looked at that, and I said, "Wait, these dates are so close."
Well, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Freak injuries happen. Aiden Hutchinson was a freak injury.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, they can get hurt getting out of the bed.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes.
But I think that might be that might have been it for them. Like that loss of Hutchinson, that might like, all right, this is it for y'all. We're just gonna get him out of the way. Y'all got to figure it out now.
Yeah. No, I think they're gonna.
But you take care of your body. You rest, hydrate, stay away from the coney, and you should be fine.
What's wrong with the coney?
It's health. Take care of your bodies. Granted, we're young, and I know clearly works for Chad Johnson.
Thought that was a shot at wide receiver great over there.
Jerry Rice eats coney.
Jerry Rice eats rice according to the Uber Eats commercials.
According to the Des Bryant eats Coney Island.
We said grapes. Yeah.
So good. Back to your line.
Yeah. I think they'll be good. Barring injury, they'll be all. They're gonna be all right. I can see them maybe losing one more game, but I don't think it's like the games that everybody's like, oh, they may sneak around.
Play the Bills.
They do play the Bills. I don't think they're gonna lose to the Bills.
Bills number 3.
Yeah, the Lions number 1. I think they'll beat the Bills. Let me pull up their schedule real quick. Pull up their schedule.
I mean, they got the talent. Because Stefan. Amari Cooper has transitioned over there fairly well, and Josh Allen has.
Yeah. Did he get hurt already?
Did he? No.
Yeah, I thought
not Amari.
I thought Amari Cooper got hurt already.
I would hope not.
What was? They said, according to some of my constituents, the Steelers, at the trade deadline, checked in on DK Metcalf. They said they tried to get DK.
So that means DK isn't happy in Seattle either. So next year,
when you're not winning, it's hard to be happy. You're not winning, and he's not getting the big payday at the moment.
Next year, DK is probably out of there.
Let me see what we got here. I honestly can see the Lions not losing another game, like schedule-wise. In my head, the old Lions is like one of these divisional games, like the Bears coming up or something like that.
But Green Bay's not a bad team.
They're not, but if they beat Green Bay in the rain, when they had to limit their plays selection and whatnot, when they play them indoors.
All right, I keep forgetting they don't go outside until San Francisco?
Excuse me, no, they the Bears, December 22nd.
It could be that one. That's because it's unless it's 60 degrees.
Listen, they're built for outside. They run so. When I say, I'm not saying that in a we're built to win type thing. Teams that play outside typically they run the ball more because the elements can alter, how you throw the ball,
right.
How the ball.
They said as far as handing it off.
Yeah, as far as handing the ball off, and they got 2 good running backs. They don't have to throw the ball in the elements, worry about the ball slipping out of nobody's hand, the wind blowing, whatever case may be. Or if it's snowing real bad, you can't see the ball in the air. So it was like,
But when it mattered most, one of the running backs did drop the ball.
when it mattered most.
When it mattered most.
Who? Who dropped the ball when it mattered most? Because the only game that somebody fumbled, are you talking about last year?
When it mattered.
That's old news. What matters is now.
When it mattered
This
most.
season is what matters now.
What mattered most.
It's going to matter the most. Technically, it was the wide receiver that dropped the ball that ruined everything.
I said fumbled.
Yeah, well, the only times one of the running backs fumbled this year, we won that game. So we're not. Forget about them.
Okay. I mean, plus even if that happens, what are they? 16-2. So whatever.
Yeah. So they got the Texans. They're gonna beat the Texans. The Jaguars.
6-3 for a reason.
Who, the Texans?
6-3.
Texans. Who did they just lose to?
They're figuring
If they had,
was it the Jets?
they were 6-3 because of the early success when they had all of their pieces.
They were 6-2 and then they lost to the Jets.
Yeah, either way, we're in Texas at the Jaguars here at home. That's gonna be a dog walk.
It should be
In Indianapolis.
That should be a shit.
Here for the Bears. Here for the Packers on Thanksgiving. Here for the Bills. In Chicago.
All right, so wait, say this order again. So say just the November order. You got who?
November they got Texans.
Okay.
Jaguars here.
Okay.
Indianapolis in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And then Chicago here.
And which one is the Thanksgiving game?
Thanksgiving game is the Chicago game.
I thought it was the Packers.
They play the Packers the next week on Thursday night.
So that is 4 games.
Not including the Packers that they just, because technically November 3rd was that Packers game.
And that's not even the end of November, is it? Or is that the end of November?
Yeah, they got 1, 2, 3. They got 5 games in November.
I mean, it is 5 Sundays, but what's the one where they play a game and then 4 days later there's another game, and then it's like 5 days later there's another game.
They got the Colts on Sunday, then the Bears that Thursday, so that's 4 days later. And then the next, it's 7 days later because they got the Packers the next Thursday.
Okay. So Sunday.
Yeah, so it's
Thursday,
like
Sunday.
Yeah, so it's like 4 days and then 7 days. So it's 3.
Thanksgiving is Thursday too.
Yeah, so it's 3 games in what? 11 days? 3 games in 11 days.
Hey, they get out of
they
that.
get that clean sweep, and then after that is the Bills. Or no, after that is the Packers. And then the Bills, then the Bears, 49ers, Vikings.
11 games in 3 days when most teams play only 1 game in 7 days. 11-3 is. Whew. But hey, that's what they're built for. The young, get them hyperbaric chambers, get your rest, get you some sleep. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I got them going to the Super Bowl. We're winning the Super Bowl. Against
Ravens or the Chiefs.
So here's the thing. If it comes down to the Ravens versus the Chiefs, Lamar, for whatever reason, just decides, here, Patrick, you can have the game.
That was without a running back.
That was without a running back, but still, he just, I don't know what, he turns to a totally different player against the Chiefs.
I don't disagree.
Here's the other thing.
Without a running back.
The Chiefs randomly struggle against random teams in the playoffs. Lose to the Bengals, struggle against the Bengals, shoot out against the Bills. It's like the team that everybody's like, oh, we can't wait for this clash, and they just run through the Ravens. Like, how? But then the Bills is like that shootout. I remember that one game a couple years ago. The Bills and the Chiefs in the playoffs. Man. That's one of the best football games. I turned it off. I said, the game's over. Woke up the next day. In overtime, I said, overtime? They were down 21. How did this happen?
Almost as good as that Chiefs Rams game. Wow, man.
No, that Monday night game?
So many touchdowns.
Man, listen.
What a time.
That was a day.
And
that boy Jared go off. Decided, hey, listen, he know. He know a thing or two about that quarterback position.
He is arguably the best quarterback in the league.
And it's great. 3 years ago, he was the outcast. Like, get him out of here. He's no good. That's
Yeah, because he turned back
what
into
all
who he
all
was
the people.
with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, like, get him out of here. That's my impression of the entire LA Rams
Well, apparently,
organization.
Sean McVay and Ben Johnson are quarterback whisperers. Apparently,
Get him out of here.
now he's back
We
rolling.
don't like you.
Okay.
As they said, it was you know what he said. He was like, so what are we gonna do now? We lost the Super Bowl. He was like, what do you mean? What are we gonna do now? We're just gonna wait. He said, wait. Like, but the game's out there. It's like, listen, your attitude isn't helping. He's like, oh, that's the plan from our great leader. Just sit here on our butts.
All right, Ninja Turtles.
You know, it's the greatest movie ever.
It is a great movie.
The greatest movie ever. Then Jared Goff is just like, you know what, maybe I'll just take my attitude and I'll leave.
Jeff Fisher said, fine, go ahead. We don't need you.
We don't need you.
So they fired Jeff. And then, and then they brought Sean in, and then Sean, redemption story. And then
it's Jared's fault. It's him. He's the utter.
And then they got him out of there and went and got Matthew Stafford. Won it all.
That boy Stafford. And then after that
was it. I was here in Detroit. Singing his swan song on his way back up the ladder of success.
Yeah, won that Super Bowl. I was happy for him. And then after that, I was like, all right, now you got yours. Now you're the enemy. And every time, you know, he came here and we beat him. I was like, sorry, Matt.
This is a very hometown episode. I just need you to know that.
It is.
I mean, this is why this will be the last time.
Well, you know what happens?
This is a hometown.
This is what happens
when you get the helm.
This is what happens when the Lions are the best team in the NFL. Like, listen, what are we gonna do? Be like everybody else and talk about the Cowboys?
You know what's crazy? I don't believe the Lions have been the best team in the NFL, quite possibly in your lifetime.
In my lifetime. There's maybe through week 2, maybe.
Right. not within halfway through the season.
It's like, they clearly look like the best team in the NFL.
They are. Quarterback, offense, defense.
They are playing with
running game, skill position. Yeah, no, they've got talent everywhere.
Playing games.
Some would say up the wazoo.
Yes. But yeah, you know. I mean, we could talk about anybody else, but, you know, we only talk about the winners around here. You know what I'm saying?
And we did talk about the Chiefs.
We did, yeah. I mean, they technically best record in the league.
We did the best record.
Best record in the league, so, you know.
We got quite a polish on those nails, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I went to a knee.
Oh, you didn't go to your hymns, huh?
So just for him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My girl there, she left. I said, I don't know if I want to. Like, no offense to them, but
see, no, it's not bad.
Yeah, you know, a little razzle dazzle. You know what I'm saying? Just a little. Well, you got to take care of yourself, man. You got to take care of yourself.
Wash yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, manicure yourself.
Hygiene is a mandate, not a right. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Pay no attention to that, but yeah,
I'm about to go get this together. Next time y'all see me, I ain't gonna be out here looking like hobo Reigns over here.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be looking like that. Go back to the curly top Jason.
Yeah, definitely not the Roman Empire.
Yeah, this not. No. Got the taper needs to get done, and this starting to get all. This is Joy Road Reigns.
Just do some dye too.
No.
I'm just gonna let it shine.
My child keeps telling me to do that.
Don't.
My child says, "Yeah, Daddy, you need to make it brown again." I'm
don't
like,
dye it. Be a man. Man.
Listen. What you trying to say?
Man,
Cody Rhodes ain't a man. Man.
Close us out.
Sorry, I thought you meant close us out with the song.
No, close out the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has been, will be, and always will be This should be a podcast, or we should have, whatever the name of this thing is called. The lights, man, the lights.
Jesus.
I was blinded by the lights.
Next time we see you, I'll be back at the helm again at our regularly scheduled time and place and program. Thank you for watching. I am Sean Manning. That is Jason Jamerson. Until next time.
That is Jason Jamerson.